reception over there. If you could
I can give you one more reception at home too, I hope. So that's what's important to me. But no, what an incredible night. I think not just for us as a football program. Obviously, it means the world. It's taken us a long time to get down here because of just the energy and the momentum in that locker room. The respect I got for those guys and the way they continue to fight and battle, but also for our university, for our campus. I think that, to me, that's one of those big things when we came here. Just wanted to see this place electric. And I've said it before, that you can see a lot about what's going on a campus and energy on a campus when you see an event. And this was an event. They did a great job. We did a great job of making this event a memorable one. But I got to give a great shout out to that crowd, to the student section, for the energy they brought for us. Because it was an up and down battle now. This was by no means easy. I know we were up 11 points there with 6 minutes or 4.5 minutes to go in the game, and never did I believe that it was over by any means. And to come down to 2 inches or an inch that I thought we got 2 times before that, and thought we got the time before that. We finally had to get it on the last time, but I guess there's no greater way to kind of seal the deal and to end this thing against a team that, you know, is the best in the league. They've been the best. And for us to do this, you know, the memory of what was like 2 years ago here when, you know, some way, somehow we had to throw in the towel because of the weather, but also because of the way the game was going in some respects, for our team to continue to fight back and be where they are right now, despite a lot of different things that have happened inside that locker room, injury-wise. It's incredible to see.
You talked about before or after UCLA how electric this place was. Was tonight even above and beyond that?
It was different. It really was. You know, our guys loved it. I mean, it's you know, this is what college football is all about. Not just the win. I understand that, but the atmosphere, the excitement. You know, to see that place from the 0-0 on the board. I mean, nobody left, and you know, I'm just happy that we could give them the show that we did. Obviously, turn out for benefit for us, but all in all, to have that kind of support goes a long way.
How gratifying is it to get a win like this with your defense, getting 4 turnovers, getting I think 4 stops in the red zone in the first half?
They did a phenomenal job. Coach Freeman, Coach Sanuda, Coach Mickens, Coach Wilt, Coach Mace. I mean, those guys, you know, had a different little plan for these guys, and you know, kind of had some ideas throughout the entire summer just about how we needed to do some things to give ourselves a better chance and to not only be able to cover them, take away some space, but also to get some pressure. And the way Coach Freeman kept the pressure coming all night, there were times I was biting my tongue a few times on again, but he believed in those guys, he believed in what we were doing, and he kept them aggressive.
That 3-by-3 kind of setup, was that one of the main things you guys were trying to do against them?
Well, it was just, I mean, it's something we kind of had for a while. Not just them, it's tough and it's difficult. We don't see a whole lot of this, not just this offense, but the way they spread the guys out and the speed that they have out there and the shots that they'll take. It makes it really difficult. And there's only a couple ways that you can try to defend them. We changed it up a little bit tonight to try to get some more athletes on the field, and I think the greatest thing about what it is that we did tonight, we asked a lot of guys, D-line in particular, to be really unselfish. We weren't playing with 4 guys out there the whole time, and those guys have been really, really good for us and pretty dominant. The Michael Pittses, Ethan Tuckey, those guys rolling at that edge, and they weren't even in the starting lineup in some ways. But you know what? They kept fighting when their role was called, and when they were called upon. They did a heck of a job, and I think that all in all, we might have played 27 guys on defense, and in the second half it showed.
You mentioned switching it up. You know, you kind of held them off for some of the first half, but seemed to figure them out in some ways in the second half. Was there anything different you guys did?
No, really. I mean, you can't worry. We told our guys before the game started and all week, you can't worry about yards. You can't worry about even time possession. You can't worry about anything other than points. And you got to find ways to get stops. And sometimes that means in the red zone, you just got to really, really play well. If we can limit their big plays, we got an opportunity. And I think that 58 snaps the defense had in the first half might be a record. But what we did is we eliminated big plays. And with the exception to giving them the ball, I think, on the 7-yard line, I think all in all that first half, you know, I think those guys did a phenomenal job. And then they came in at halftime and, you know, made some little adjustments here and there and continued to play the amount of players that we did, and I think it showed.
You put a lot of trust in those 2 freshman corners. something that paid off tonight with Gardner taking 1 for 6.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's exactly how he had it drawn up, but nonetheless, did a phenomenal job. And it wasn't just that play. Him in there on some deep balls where, he's in perfect position and he makes a play on the football, and that's as good a receiver group as we're going to see.
Had a third
I'm
down
not saying that
stop.
we aren't going to see some great ones, in Houston and some, but as fast and as deep and as ability to take shots on you, there's definitely a little anxiety when you see a couple freshmen standing out there, and how exactly will they do? Will they panic? I think that's one of the things when the ball's in the air. Will they panic, or will they be under control and kind of rely on their training? And they did a heck of a job.
Do you call him Sauce? I know he's fond of that nickname.
Did he earn that today?
He may get a self-proclaimed nickname may actually be a nickname. Well, that's not up to me. That's kind of how the seniors, and let's see what they start to say about him on Sunday and Tuesday at practice. If they give him his due, or else they keep him. We brought him up there in the locker room to say a few words, and we had to cut him off. I was a little worried when we started, but nonetheless, he didn't say anything once we cut him off. So I think he's earned quite a bit of respect from those guys.
It was a little bit of a rough start with the defensive holds and then the roughing the punter. How big was Cam's interception to sort of settle everybody down and get the momentum back?
It's huge. I mean, look, you forget about those things right off the bat when you're really playing well in the first series, and you get a 3rd and long, and they call a holding, and then you get another holding, and like, oh, this is all over again. Then we get a roughing the punter, on a 4th and 12. But we look at each other and say, look, we said we're going to be aggressive. The only way you're going to knock off the best is to be aggressive. Whether it was trying to go after the punt, whether it was continue to play a lot of man coverage in the back end, or going forward on 4th and 6 inches. The only way you're going to beat the best is take those chances.
You know Coach Freeman probably better than anybody. Is this kind of what you've come to expect, knowing him as a coach, to be able to pull off a performance like this in this type of game?
Yeah, it was a challenge. It was a challenge after last year a little bit. It was a challenge after year 1. But you can't do it by yourself. He did a phenomenal job, but I think the job that's really he has done a great job of, along with the other coaches, is getting those guys to believe and buy in and be unselfish. When all of a sudden you got the last 2 players of the game sitting on the bench to start the game, and might not have how much of a role they'll have because maybe we're not playing with 4 D linemen a bunch. To get those guys to believe and buy into those things, that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of trust and respect amongst those guys in that locker room.
Did you sense a different energy from your defense in the second half? It seemed like early it was a break.
And I think it has a lot to do not with what we were playing. It has nothing to do with a call. It has a lot to do with the ability to play probably 20-some guys on defense. That's why those young freshmen were playing so much. You didn't even know when they were in there because they were just rolling. The guy came out on the sideline, he took a deep ball, a freshman went in. The safeties, we were rolling 4 safeties at a time, 2 nickels at a time. It's pretty easy to see when those D linemen sub in, but I think you don't quite catch as much as we were subbing. So I think in the long run, as much as they wear people out running those deep routes and on the backside when they're not running, conserving their energy, we have a hard time playing like that defensively. It's really difficult. So you got to rely on a lot of depth, and I think that's really what kind of got it going in the second half.
Last question, Justin.
The 4th down call, kind of reminiscent of the opener against UCLA last year. Was that in the back of your mind at all?
No, I was thinking about nothing other than that. Should have had those couple inches there, I thought, on 2nd down and on 3rd down, but there was never a doubt. There was never a doubt about what we were going to do. And that's what you love. You click over even the defense and say, hey guys, we're going for this. Darn right we're going for this. Let's end this thing. Let's do it our way, our style. And believed in him and trusted him. There was maybe a little conversation about what we were going to run, but nonetheless, I think they called the right thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.